the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we got the tape going and calling this council meeting June 4th, 2018 to order. We all make sure we have that. Okay. All right. Speakers, I saw Tony Schmelik here. Tony, come on up. Always welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you very much. I actually didn't have anything to say tonight. It's been pretty quiet.
Okay.
Well, we do have some interesting things coming on. There is some public hearing tomorrow night concerning the Monocacy River Board plan, which I would encourage residents to come out and give their input one way or the other in favor or not in a resolution that has been brought forth by MC Keegan on that. But other than that, I was just coming by. I hadn't checked in a while. I always like to stop in and see what's going on, and if there's anything that I can do for you or anything that members need to know, they can always contact me if there's anything in the county that needs to be done or help they
Sure,
need.
Tony. Thanks.
But thank you very much.
Tony's our councilman on the Frederick County side, and always here, always standing up for the town. So it's always good to see you, Tony. All right. I don't think we have any other speakers. We don't have any other presentations. For an update, for those of you who I guess don't know, the mayor had substantial surgery this morning. He is, from what we hear, he's doing fine. He's out of surgery now, but he will be out for several weeks. So in accordance with our town charter, he sent out his email before all that. So until he's back on his feet, I'm the acting mayor until then. So anything has to be done. He made me promise that I would not buy you any more vehicles during the next few weeks. So that was one thing he said. He said, Chief can't get any vehicles. He did honestly say that. So for the next few weeks, and we all wish him the best and a speedy recovery. All right, we've got council minutes, May 7th, the council meeting. We've got the special meeting of the 17th, and then we've got the closed meeting minutes of the 2nd. I had one minor correction. Number 11, council has 1C. Assuming you guys go along with that, I'll move we accept all of these minutes unless there's other changes.
Yeah, I mean, it's really minor, but I think Carl, in his comments, was talking about potholes, not sinkholes. So, it is potholes, but.
Some people thought they were large enough
It's
to
okay.
be sinkholes.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
All right.
A sinkhole and a pothole are two different things.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
with those.
Thank you to the maintenance crew, though, for taking care of a road that we don't even own, so.
Definitely. So I'll make a motion to approve with the typos and corrections.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Let's move on to Chief's report.
Good evening, everyone. It's Chief Reeds with the Mount Airy Police Department. The May's Chief's report, or Police Department status report. We had 12 meetings and trainings during the month. As far as the department statistics, we handled 994 events during the month of May. I think the rain kind of kept that down a little bit. For traffic enforcement, we had 144 traffic stops. Of 144 stops, we issued 76 traffic citations, 114 warnings, 28 equipment repair orders. We had 2 DUI arrests and 6 traffic arrests, which basically for like driving while suspended or revoked or uninsured motor vehicles, that type of stuff that carries an arrestable penalty. Criminal enforcement, we handled, we conducted 55 criminal investigations or related reports. We had 4 criminal arrests and issued 2 civil citations. Out of that, we had 1 stolen vehicle report. So I just want to kind of remind the residents in town to make sure you lock your vehicle's doors and keep the keys out of the vehicle, take them inside, don't leave them in the vehicle unattended and so forth. Same thing goes with items that we're getting into the season now, summertime. You're going to have a lot of thefts from vehicles and so forth. The opportunist going around town, any place, looking in cars. If they see an unlocked car, they're going to go in it. They're going to see what's in there. So if you have things of value, take them out of your cars, make sure you're locking your car doors when they're parked in front of your house. Another thing you also want to remember, a lot of us have those garage door openers. And if you leave your car unlocked, you give them access to the house with that garage door opener. So, let's use some crime prevention strategies here and, as a community, and try to keep people from giving them the opportunities to commit crime, because when you give them the opportunity, they're gonna take the opportunity to do that. So, community outreach wise, 2 of our officers were recognized up at Carroll Community College. Corporal Halterman and PFC Brooks were honored by the Carroll Community Criminal Justice Program, and they received awards for their criminal justice, from the Criminal Justice Club, for their hard work and dedication to the community. This Wednesday is the law enforcement torch run. The Mount Airy Police Department will be running with the Maryland State Police from Westminster Barrack, as well as troopers from the Education Training Division from the Academy in Sykesville. We will be leaving the firehouse at 7:30 on Wednesday morning. We have our own special athlete that's assigned to us, and this is basically, it's to support the Special Olympics for Maryland. We will all run to McDaniel College in Westminster, and from there to City Hall in Westminster, where there will be a brief ceremony. National Night Out is still in process. We're planning that for August 7th at the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Grounds. We'll be out there for several hours from 5:30 to 8 o'clock. And I believe that's it. That'll be the chief's report. Also, one other thing, I'm sorry. Monthly overdose summary for the month. We only had 1 overdose for the month of May in town. So it's a decrease from the average. It's been averaging about 3 or 4 a month. So that'll be the chief's report.
Yeah, I'm knocking on wood that that's a trend that continues, so, because I've been surprised for the last couple of months with
We
the amount of
absolutely-
overdoses, but it seems lower now.
Right. Even one's too much, but it seems to be a little bit, it's hopefully reducing. I've had, through my contacts, I've heard that the word is out that there's an increased police presence in Mount Airy, and hopefully that's what's helping to curtail that, and hopefully that'll be a trend that continues.
Good.
Chief, how many, are they the regulars, the same resident that, might be
Well, yes,
doing
there's
some repeat offenders?
some repeat offenders.
Okay,
We also, part of our problem is being right off the interstate. We have a lot of transients coming in, and they get right off at our exit. And of course, as soon as you get off the exit, they're right in town. And it'll be an opportunity for them to do whatever they're going to do, and then they end up overdosing in a local business parking lot and so forth. So, we've also had increased patrols of the business areas, so hopefully that's part of the reason that they're not, hopefully that's part of the reason for the decrease. So let's keep our fingers crossed, and that, hopefully, again, that's a trend that continues to occur, so.
so if it happens again within the next month that you do that, could you, would it be okay, or, I don't want to get anyone into any trouble, if it's a town resident or not a town resident?
Mhm.
Is that something that you would be able to report, maybe just to the council?
I could certainly do like an
just-
executive summary or
Just
something
so
to the council.
that,
just
you
to
know,
let
if we
know.
need to
Sure.
maybe establish some educational programs or get these
Right.
certain individuals some specific help, I would certainly be willing to look at opening those doors. But if it's other non-residents and they're stopping by and they happen to overdose within our town, that's a different situation. But
Right,
if it's
correct.
within our town limits, I would like to see what else we could do as a town to
Certainly,
provide better support.
absolutely.
Okay.
What was the time on the night out again?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
Night out.
National Night Out, it is going to be from, I believe it's 5:30 to 8 o'clock on August 7th
And that's the fire station.
at the fire.
The Carnival Grounds,
Carnival
okay.
Grounds,
I have it
yes.
on my calendar, I don't have a location. I was checking while you were doing that. Okay, good. All right,
Thank you.
thanks, Chief. All right, Volunteer Fire Company report. Welcome, Bruce.
Hello. For the month of May, we had rescue calls, 111 in Carroll, 61 in Frederick, 6 in Howard, one in Montgomery for a total of 179 rescue EMS calls for service. Fires, we had 12 in Carroll, 9 in Frederick, 2 in Howard, and none in Montgomery for a total of 23, which resulted in 123 calls for service in Carroll, 70 in Frederick, 8 in Howard, 1 in Montgomery for 202 calls for service.
Thank you. All right, community concerns, citizen comments. Anybody has anything they want to address the council on, please come on up. I know, let's get you guys up here first. And thank you for the invitations. I will be there if you need me to sub in for the mayor. I know the mayor, I will not wear a kilt, however, but I will be glad. I'll be glad to do anything you need.
I'm Mary Ann Elliott. This is my husband, Bill Elliott, and we're here, as always, to promote the Mid-Maryland Celtic Festival, 18th year here, and the 7th year here in Mount Airy. Just a couple little, I've given you the usual report, but we've worked very diligently with the chief here to work on traffic management because the same day of the festival, there's the tournament with the Maya baseball. So it's going to be a busy day unless it rains so much everybody gets rained out except us because we go on rain or shine because we're Scottish and we don't know enough to come in out of the rain. So we party in the rain and the mud. We have a couple new things this year and I'll have Bill tell you about them, but that's just a little token of our appreciation for all of your support. There's tickets in there to get in, and that is a Scottish water glass. It's rather large because Scottish water is large. And there's parking there so that if you can get into our place, you can park. But I know the chief's going to take care of that along with our parking guy. He's going to wave his magic wand.
I call this a pint glass.
Well, it's a pint of water or a pint of whatever you'd like it to be a pint of. We also have an afternoon tea that we're having that's going to benefit our charity, which is Hero Dogs. They provide and train dogs for a lifetime for our American heroes. So they will be there, and so we have limited seating at our tea, and we have about 10 tickets left for that. And then I'll leave Bill to tell you about the other adult things. But we do have a great kids area, and I notice we have one little one in here. Very much expanded. In fact, some of your magicians, Mr. Ed, I think his name is it Ed? Who's the local magician here. He will be there. We have karate, we have face painting, we have all kinds of things, and even kids tossing cabers.
Oh,
So,
that'd be
yeah, you
interesting.
want to come see that. Kid size.
Yeah, I assume so.
So, lots of stuff going on. Come out and support us, and we really appreciate everything you guys have all done for us over these past years.
It's a neat event. I've always enjoyed it the last few years. And I've got to eat some really neat food.
Yes, we have some good food.
Yeah, really some good
And,
stuff.
I
Different,
know-
but very good.
I know Mayor Pat always is a judge at our shortbread bake-off, but we knew of his situation. So we've arranged for an alternate, but if you'd like to come sit in.
I'm just available if you need me.
Yeah, we'll,
for whatever, you know.
and we won't make you wear a coat.
Okay.
On the kids things, you didn't mention the kids 12 and under are free, and there's no charge for any kids' activities. So a great way to spend the day with kids at a very, very low rate because it's just your ticket to get in. Now, on the adult end, once you're in and the kids are off playing, we do have this year William Grant, who's been our whiskey sponsor for the past several years, has changed their business model, decided not to actually do festivals. So that's actually good news for us because when they were our sponsor, they would not let us work with local distilleries. So the second that they said we're not coming this year, I called Dan McNeil at Miscellaneous Distilleries, and he is now going to be doing 3 whiskey tastings for us throughout the day. And we also brought Diego in, who does Glenmorangie, Oban, a lot of the Isle of Skye, Talisker whiskeys. So it's going to be, for the whiskey tastings, it's going to be a different selection of whiskeys than we've had in the past. And we're actually doing some combo tastings with the Scottish whiskeys and the miscellaneous spirits. And miscellaneous, of course, does rum, which is a very age-old Celtic alcohol. And they do rye, which of course is the first thing the Scots-Irish started making over here as soon as they got here. And just for us, they're bringing out a gin. It's not yet commercially available, and they're gonna be presenting that at the whiskey tasting. So we're very
Okay.
excited to work with another local Mount Airy business. We've been trying to do this for years and just had our hands tied. But very much looking forward to it, and it's been, we've gotten great support from the businesses here. We try to involve them as much as possible.
Okay. My only question would be, is there anything that you want from me as, subbing for Pat? And if so, what time? I will be there, but I want to if there's a time you need me, I want to make sure I'm there.
The opening ceremony is at noon, and we usually have Mayor Pat come say a few
I
words
was
as
there
a
with
welcome
him
if
the
you
last
would like
2
to do
years
that.
at least, so
Yep,
I
we
will be there
appreciate
before that then.
Thank you very much. sir.
Sure.
Told me he's having a custom-made kilt this year.
Oh, bless his heart.
No, Pat wears the kilt. I'm not wearing a kilt.
Please give him our best wishes.
Certainly, certainly.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other citizen concerns or comments? Come on up to the table.
Sorry, I didn't forget to mention Saturday, June 16th, so week from Saturday.
Hi, welcome. Just please identify yourself.
My name is Talia Gimeno, and I'm actually representing my organization, which is Opening New Doors Foundation, and we're located in Damascus. And I wanted to let you know about our organization because we're very close to here and wanted to share a little bit of information. So we recently opened, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, I'm bilingual. So currently we've been offering therapy, individual therapy, group therapy, and resource connection for survivors of domestic violence. And we are actually in the process of trying to open a transitional housing program, which we're hoping to be able to house up to 8 women. There's a property in a local church. We're not disclosing the information, but we are hoping to eventually, so right now we're currently looking at renting this space in Damascus, but I'm really hoping we can branch out a little bit to Mount Airy. I would love to be able to reach residents out here, spread the word. I'd love to talk more with you if you're interested. And I will be leaving, I have some brochures, they'll look like this. If anyone wants to take any for your businesses or help us get the word out, that is really our hope. I also have these, which if you have a business or know someone that can post some of these, I'm sorry, it has little tabs on the bottom. So if you want to stick it in the women's bathroom or something of the sort, that might be the safest, smartest place to place them.
Oh, so it's like if somebody's having an issue, they just tear off the tab and they got a place to call?
Exactly.
That's great, that's
Right.
great.
Right, yeah. So can I answer any questions or?
Yeah, I mean, I'll chime in. I've met with Talia about 3 times over the last 6 months or so, just to find out what she's trying to do with her foundation. And what really excites me about what she's doing is that normally if we have a victim of domestic abuse down here in Mount Airy, everybody looks northward toward Westminster, which is great, but it's about 20 miles away. What Talia's doing is 5 miles to the south. So it's much more convenient, easier to get to, and I think she has a real nice 501c3 setup that can benefit our town. I think you have a fundraiser going right now.
I do, right now.
So is it all through Facebook or website?
Right, I have 2 different ones. I have one that's, I can't remember the platform, but it's for a nonprofit, so there's
Yeah.
no fee. And then I have a birthday one for my month, so
Okay.
there's one for that through Facebook.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing,
Thank you.
so.
Thank you very much. And if you want to leave maybe some stuff on the, something to chief,
Sure.
and something on the table back there, that's
Perfect.
where
I'll
people
leave this-
typically
I'll leave all
pick
this
stuff
here
up.
so anyone can take them, and then I'll leave a few brochures, and I'll also put some brochures out there in Whittier. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Yeah, it'd be good to have that in town hall, because sometimes just people just call up about all kinds of stuff, so. All right, any other community concerns or citizen comments? Not seeing any, let's move on. Ordinances and resolutions, 2018-8. This is the ordinance to amend Part 1 of the code to create Chapter 36A. This is our Sustainable Mount Airy Commission, which we introduced previously. This is here for adoption.
I'll
I was
introduce.
gonna say, Jason, you wanna do it? I will second it. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. That was unanimous. Moving on, resolution 2018-6 to allow alcohol on public property for Oktoberfest. This is just our standard resolution. When the Oktoberfest issue came up, mainly because we now own part of the rail yard, it's my understanding that it's all gonna take place in the rail yard, but my suggestion was, since we don't know exactly where we're gonna draw the line in the rail yard, better safe than sorry and have this resolution done, in case when they decide to put up all the fences, they're a couple feet onto what the town now owns. So that's essentially why this is there. I will introduce it. Do I have a second?
I'll
Second from Jason. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. That's kind of a better safe than sorry issue.
Yeah.
Unfinished business. Recommendation from Planning and Zoning map for the Twin Arch. We need to set a public hearing on that. I think that's all we're doing tonight on this is the public hearing. This is the
Should be sometime in August.
change to industrial.
It's going from RA residential to I industrial, which adjoins the Twin Arch Industrial Park. So there's been 6
Yeah, we all have a packet with maps, and at least I know where the property is, and there's pictures and everything else. So we need to, do we want to just set it before a council meeting? I don't know that it's gonna be one of those ones where we need, like a separate facility, because hundreds of people are gonna show up.
Well, remember, it is a little different than what you all normally do.
It is a judicial, we're serving in our
It's a
judicial
quasi-judicial,
capacity,
yeah.
yes.
So it could take time. The petitioners have a burden of proof to meet and must introduce evidence. So it's gonna be a little bit different, and while I'm on that, my intent would be to give you all a memo, just setting forth the legal, what your role is from a legal perspective, what the standards are, and so that you all can have sort of a legal document to work from.
And my recollection from MML classes I've taken on this is we need to treat this a little differently as far as our own contact. I mean, driving by and seeing it on the roadside, well, that's one thing, but we don't want to go up there and really meet with them one-on-one or talk to them, because that would be kind of like the jury having an ex parte communication
Right.
with just one person, so. Well,
I mean, 6:30, just to be
yeah,
safe.
that's what I'm wondering. Do we just want to do it earlier on a council night, or do we want to set a special council meeting for it? Do you have any idea what kind of time you think they might? I mean, I think Jason's probably about right. An hour is probably plenty of time.
I would think so. Yeah, unless
Okay.
you have people want to present evidence in opposite, but if you have that, you could adjourn it, and schedule a second night to get it done.
So what is our legal
Oh, okay.
scheduling
All
requirement?
right.
I mean, do we?
I was just checking with her to
Yeah.
make sure that was okay.
There's no opposition at the planning commission meetings.
Okay, but is that, do we have a legal window for how fast we have to do it? I mean, should it be July, or can it be August, or?
No, I'm not, I don't believe there's any window by which you have to do
Okay.
this. There are advertising requirements.
Right, but as long as we give Debbie enough time, and I'm sure there's enough time at this point. Do we want to do July or August?
August.
August?
I would recommend August.
All right. So 6:30, August 6th.
I'm sorry.
I gotta tell you, I'm not sure that I can be here by 6:30 on August 6th. I'm gonna be on another one of those out of town, coming back. Got here tonight, it's at about reached Mount Airy at about 6:15 tonight.
Is it Southwest Airlines?
No, I'm driving.
You're gonna
I would
be
definitely
early.
be more on time if it was Southwest, because people wouldn't have to stop to use the restroom.
All right.
It's your call.
6:45?
Well, you want to do it a little?
Well,
If there's no opposition at planning, would we be safe, you think, to do
Yeah, I was gonna say
6:45?
this,
We'll give you,
this came from planning with a
I mean,
recommendation.
'cause I know tonight, I'll be doing a
Positive
similar drive
recommendation.
then, and I got
Yeah.
back into town today at about 6:15. I mean, that's
What
when I
if,
got to my house.
What if we slid the start of the council meeting on the other end to 8 o'clock instead of 7:30?
Okay, so do a,
6:45, 8 o'clock.
why did I say do a 7 and an 8?
7 and 8 is
7 and 8
fine.
is
7 and 8, is that, that I can make. I can get here by 6, 'cause I was here, I could be here by 7 tonight. Okay, 7 and 8.
Okay,
So
Sounds good.
7-day public hearing,
Yeah.
council meeting will start a half an hour later.
Half an hour later. And I guess we could always, actually, let's leave the council meeting on at 7:30.
Oh,
Because if this meeting doesn't take longer, we can at least then start at 7:30 and nobody complain. We can always run long on the thing at 7
Right.
and just, but otherwise, if we get here and the thing takes 15 minutes and we're sitting around for 45 minutes waiting for the council meeting to start.
Yeah.
all right.
Council meeting
immediately
to start at the
Yeah,
end of that
yeah,
meeting.
immediately, yeah, the council meeting will be immediately following. All right, thanks.
And I'll make a note of that when I do the agenda.
Thanks.
and that.
All right. Next up, we have the approval to have the mayor sign the Townview subdivision HOA purchase agreement for the rails to trails right away. I know this is something that Larry and Tom have been pounding out for,
Since
gee, like 10 years?
2013, at least.
So-
And Bob,
5 years, yeah.
2007.
And Tom, we are all legally ready to go on this?
Yes, I mean,
Okay.
basically, the document's ready to go, the homeowners association.
They made all
signed it.
their stuff? All right.
So, as a technical matter, I think the council just needs to approve it and authorize the mayor or acting mayor.
Well, I think
to
Pat may have
sign.
signed it just in case.
Yeah, he signed it just in case.
Yeah, that
it
was
made
my
it through.
recollection, yeah.
So,
So the idea is if we approve it, his signature is already approved. So I will move we approve.
second.
I'll second that. Any
Yep.
discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is unanimous? All right, it's nice to have one more little piece out of the way of this puzzle. Tom, up next is the Pine Grove Chapel update. You were going to look into what the town can do.
Yeah, so the first question I believe it was asked was whether or not the cemetery and the chapel are all on one parcel or are they on two separate parcels? And the answer is they're all on one parcel.
Ah, that's different than what I've been told. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
at least according to the tax map. Now, the land records only go back so far electronically, so this property was purchased, I think the library was 262, so a long time ago. It's currently owned by the Pine Grove Cemetery Company of Carroll County, Inc., and comprises about 7+ acres. So I looked at their, what was available online through the
Are they
State
still
Department
valid?
of Assessment. Yes,
Oh.
they're in good standing.
Okay.
And looked at their articles of the corporation and what I could get off of State Department of Assessments and Taxation. They're in good standing. They're a valid entity to be, negotiated with or talked to or whatever. So certainly something could be done. The town certainly could, do something there. And
Okay.
if you're interested in subdividing off, forgive me, which piece are you looking to?
Well, actually, their concern was somebody taking the entire thing.
Right.
The problem is that as they approached Scott and myself, we were up there taking the pokey gym out, and it was a joint attack. Barney understands that, and we were up there, so they took the time to chat with us about this while we were up there. The group that's currently running it, is getting up there in years, and they're concerned what's going to happen in a few years is their members have slowly passed away. Who's going to run it? And, that is somewhat of a concern. It also is a historical issue for the town because the chapel's on it as well as all the graves and everything. So their concern is, is there something maybe where the town can take it over or, or take part of it and have the historical side or, work something out so that there'll be some continuous ability for it to finish operating. It's my understanding, what they told us is that they, it's not a dollars issue. They've got, I guess they have plenty of dollars in the bank to continue paying the guy to cut the grass and do all that. They just need to know if there's going to be somebody there to, A, pay those bills, and keep the records of the plots and sell new plots.
So are they basically asking us to take over the entire cemetery and building? And
Yeah, it would be the
manage
whole
it
thing,
and-
correct. Or they said, one of the ideas was have the town set up some nonprofit, or do it through a nonprofit that exists, like the Historical Society. And the Historical Society could, I guess presumably even use it as a profit generator. Because they do sell plots and they have money.
Yeah. Are they a nonprofit? The group that
I don't-
manages the cemetery now, are they a nonprofit?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
They are? Okay. All right.
Okay. So, that's, but like I said, the concern is that, they're all up there in years, and Travis ran it for a long time, and he passed away, what, 10 years ago?
10 years ago.
Yeah, about 10 years ago. And they said when he passed away, because he'd run it all, nobody else really was up on how to do it. They had to pick it up, so they don't want to see that continuing to happen.
I would,
Doc, you want? Yeah, come on up.
O'Brien on 806 Park Avenue. Is there enough money to cover that building maintenance, roofs? That's what
I will say, I haven't looked at their books.
I mean,
That would all be part of, basically the question was, hey, can we do something? So I was like, well, let's find out from Tom if we can.
Right.
And he's now come back with that, yeah, we can talk about it. So-
mowing the grass is probably a certainty as far as cost goes, but maintaining an old structure is quite another thing too. So I don't know
Right.
if we should factor that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but obviously, thanks, we'll obviously have to look at what they've got dollar-wise and what it'll take to do that. But obviously, it's in the town's best interest to make sure that building is kept up and maintained.
There's going to be a lot to consider, however, particularly if you're looking to do this on behalf of the town. I don't know the extent to which, the town can seek to derive income from that if you're, if it's an ongoing cemetery. The other thing to keep in mind too is, my limited understanding is that is a highly regulated business with lots of regulations and lots of compliance issues. So it's not just a matter of, picking up a piece of property and mowing it. There's a lot, my limited understanding, hopefully for a long time, knock on wood, is it's highly regulated. So, just keep that in mind. It's not your average acquisition, shall we say. And you may want to look toward the route, toward maybe a nonprofit or historic society or something along those lines.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, my immediate thought on it is that we're not in the business to take over a cemetery, and a historic building like that would probably be better handled by a nonprofit. So hopefully they can find some people who could continue doing the service that they're doing. I know there's some younger people in town who they might be able to find to help them out. At least I hope so. So.
Okay. Next up, new business. Request to close the roads for Oktoberfest. You can see Pam Reed sent this in. Want to close Saturday, September 29th from 11 to 5. They want the roads to actually be closed from 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. It would go from the South Main Crosswalk by Crying Johnny's, or I prefer by my office. And then they're gonna have a soft close at Main Street and Prospect. And the hard close will be at the pharmacy. The soft close is if anybody needs to get the Blossom and Basket or the bike shop, they can get through and get in that back side of the parking lot, which
We
seems to
actually
have worked
did that.
reasonably well.
Yeah,
We did that for
the
Chili Cook-Off.
Chili cook-off, and the pharmacy stayed open this time, first
Yeah.
time, and they were just tickled to death.
So I will move that we accept this road closure. Any second?
I'll second.
Bob seconding. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, this one I fortunately remembered to put on here. Vote to move the September council meeting to September 10th because the first Monday in September is a holiday.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Bob's making the motion. Do I got a second? I'll second it. Any discussion? Because it's really, all right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. Okay, let's see. Up next. is I have a
I
letter
should let
here.
you know, that is my birthday, so there will be cupcakes.
Oh, right. That's
Happy
great.
Rosh Hashanah. Oh, I mean your birthday.
Mine's tomorrow, Larry. You got a lot of years to catch up.
Well, that's okay. I spent my 50th birthday at this table. My wife brought in a big pie, my favorite pie.
Pie's an option.
Yeah, so, anybody wants to bring in stuff for? Okay, I've got a letter, I'm reading a letter here from Councilman Scott Strong, and I'm just reading his letter verbatim. It says, "Dear members of the Town Council, staff, residents, and friends, unfortunately, I cannot be present at the June council meeting to make this statement in person, but wanted to let everyone know that I hereby resign my position as town councilman for the town of Mount Airy effective July 9th, 2018. It has been an honor to represent Mount Airy these last 8 years. I will do whatever I can to make the transition as easy as possible. It is difficult to express how much your support has meant to me, particularly in having the confidence in re-electing me to my 3rd consecutive term as your town councilman. Serving on the council has been an honor and a life-changing experience for me. We've had many challenges and successes in the last 8 years, and I feel like we've made Mount Airy a better place to live. During my tenure, I have admired the dedication of the council members, past and present, along with the mayor, and I've been amazed at how much your lives and your predecessors have donated to try to protect and improve this community. As a resident of Mount Airy, I appreciate your service and recognize that the town is truly being left in capable hands to continue making decisions I would support. I would be remiss if I did not also recognize the many wonderful staff members and commission members with whom I have had the pleasure to work. Many people who benefit from the efforts of this dedicated and professional workforce are complacent about the positive impacts they have on this community. Town employees work for modest pay and perform their jobs extremely well. They are among the kindest and best people I have known. I know I can't say it enough. Thank you for everything each of you do, as the town wouldn't be where it is today without your persistent focus and dedication to details. To the residents that take interest in what happens and contributes their time through numerous commissions, boards, town activities, and events, I implore you to continue being active and contributing to keeping Mount Airy great. Mount Airy is the heart of 4 counties. Help keep it strong. If you aren't involved with the town you live in, ask the mayor or a councilman how you can help. It is far easier to stand on the sidelines and complain about things rather than rolling up your sleeves and work toward a positive outcome. To that last point, I would like to comment on a recent article in the Messenger in which there were accusations made about a secret agenda and truth being withheld from the public with a right to know. There are no secrets. I have always been an upfront individual and never backed away from a discussion or confrontation. Most people who know me will admit that I pay attention to details, especially numbers, and execute decisions based on logic, not emotion. I have never deviated from what I said I was going to do during campaigning or tried to play both sides of an issue. To that individual, I would specifically comment that your continuous energies to stir things up rather than bring them together is counterproductive to where the town is going and waste people's time from focusing on the real problems and needs of others. Instead of being concerned what one person is doing because you don't have the information, I'd recommend doing what you can do with the information as available, and feel free to ask questions for that which you don't have to directly clear up any confusion. Some of you may have seen the for sale sign up in our yard and have wondered what is going on. I'd love to say I'm just moving to another part of Mount Airy, maybe even into Nottingham to be next to one of my biggest supporters, but we are not. The June council meeting would have been the first available opportunity for me to speak publicly on this, as I hadn't finalized my new job offer until after we had the May council meeting. I've recently been offered an incredible opportunity with another company outside of Maryland that requires moving my family in the coming weeks. This is sort of a bittersweet goodbye, as we have raised our 3 kids here, made numerous friends, and supported neighbors while trying to leave a positive impact. While we leave with the memories of Mount Airy and are looking forward to starting the next chapter in our lives in a new location. We will still keep in touch and check in time to time. We will be coming back to Mount Airy over the coming years to visit family and friends, as well as see all the new changes. Thank you for having given me this privilege and your trust to perform in this elected capacity. Sincerely, Scott Strong. There are copies of this that'll be put on the table back there in case anybody wants any. And then what this will generate is something that we've not done before, is a special election. As a matter of fact, when Scott told me just a couple weeks ago that this was going to be happening, Debbie was out of town, so Holly got to play Debbie for the day, and I went into her office in the morning and said, okay, what do we do? Because we haven't done this before. We changed the town code. So it will require a special election. The real key is that the Board of Election Supervisors will be meeting on June 7th, which is a Thursday, here at 9 p.m. It says 9 a.m. Is it 9 a.m.? At 9 a.m. in the morning. We have some tentative dates. They won't be final until the Board of Elections goes through things. The projected special election date is September 10th. There's a council meeting that day. That would be the vote day, and then we'd take
That's
in.
Larry's birthday.
That's Larry's birthday, too.
Cupcakes to all candidates.
Councilman Strong's last date is July 9th, which would mean 64 days to the election. Our code has, I think, a 60 to 90-day window. So that's what's generating all these dates. Qualifications for council members are they have to have resided in the town of Mount Airy for at least 1 year preceding their election, and they must be a qualified voter in the town. Presumably, and obviously, none of these dates will be final till the Election Commission meets. Nominations for the council position would be from July 23rd to July 30th, but watch for the Election Commission to update that. And, you know, like one of the first things we all did was bring Bruce in, who was up before. He's the chairman of the Election Commission, so he'll be running all that from this far out. So, and I appreciated Scott writing that, so I didn't have to make up anything. I just had to read it. Okay. Up next, approval for the mayor's signature on the easement for the Twin Arch Associates Family Limited Partnership property so that we can use it as a multi-purpose field and a basketball court. Larry, it's yours again.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the mayor to sign this document, this deed of easement.
I will second that. It's my understanding you signed it already. Is that one as well, too?
As well.
So they're sitting, waiting. This is basically so that we can take control of that property to get that basketball court up and going. Before we, as I understand it, it's before we would normally take control of it. In
Yeah,
other words,
it's,
normally we'd get control towards the end of the construction. We're just taking it at the
It's part
beginning.
of the Brittany Manor development, and this is what will enable us to go out and build the basketball court that the Twin Arch Crossing community desires. And so this is
So we'd be building it in this fiscal year.
well, we would start in this fiscal year, yes. There is some money budgeted for next fiscal year to complete the fence. So,
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. That was unanimous. Up next, we have the transfer and participation agreement for the LEOPS program. That's the, let me see, law enforcement. Okay, officer pension system, okay. I knew it was how you guys got your benefits. That was the important part. I knew it was where policemen got their benefits from. We had set this up before, didn't we? Is this?
We did, and this is just another part of the process.
Okay,
but
okay.
You need to see it, and it needs to be signed. Tom did review it just for legality.
Right, because we started down this process. Is this just another step, or are we gonna have to do this on a regular basis?
Yeah, this is it.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
what
right.
you did first was a resolution, I believe, and then this is the agreement that affects, or puts in place the terms under which the transfer of
Okay.
money, frankly, is made.
I will move that we accept the agreement. Bob?
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion? All in
Yeah,
favor?
I thought we talked about this last week, or last month.
Well, yeah, I guess, because it's,
You
just-
passed a resolution.
do it.
And now we've got to approve and sign an agreement to, in effect, make the transfer.
And, yeah.
all right, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay, mayor and council reports. I don't have a mayor's report, but I do have some reappointments that I'll read from the mayor. Carl Munder reappointing to Parks and Rec. Scott Sergio reappointed to Planning. Roxanne Hemphill reappointed to Planning. Peggy Fleming, Sanitation Recycling. Carol Rolls, Ethics. Cindy Dunnigan, Streets and Roads, and Jennifer Smith, Streets and Roads. I will move we accept those. Those are all reappointments. Any discussion?
Are we not doing Patricia?
I have two. I have one with her on it and one without. Oh, the newer one is the one with? Okay, and Patty Washabaugh as planning. Hi, Patty. See, they gave me two. Your name's on one and not on the other. I think what happened is somehow you got left off the first one and somebody picked that up. Okay. Good catch, Jason. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. Okay. Beautification, Parks and Rec. Larry.
All right, beautification report, they added some more bushes over to Bryson's Field around the bench. They're preparing to plant flowers up by the new welcome sign that's up by the medical center off at 27. Jan Timrick and the trash mob are meeting this weekend at 9 a.m. At the kind of up in the area of North Main Street where it joins up with Route 27. So if you want to go and pick up some garbage, 9 a.m. on Saturday. So let's see, they put the flags out in the parks for Memorial Day, and their next meeting will be June 19th, 7 p.m. at Town Hall. Parks and Rec, I'm sure most of you have heard the skate park has been closed based on some safety concerns that we discovered after we had an engineering assessment of the structures out there. So it remains closed at this time until we figure out our next step on that. Concerning implementation of the master plan, which planning likes to guide us toward, we're still evaluating the soil that's on the CSX property and trying to figure out what the MDE remediation plan will be. So we're slowly moving forward on the CSX property and the Frederick County side. We're also waiting for the results of the grant that would allow us to go into the Townview area and fix the stormwater management issues and ADA accessibility through a boardwalk that would be between Main Street and Watkins Park. I wanted to say thank you to the 100+ people who wrote letters supporting that grant application. They were delivered down to the State Highway Administration, all done in 1 week, which was kind of a bet that I set up that we could get 100 letters in a week, and then thank goodness the people came through for me. Also, thank you to Senator Cardin, Senator Huff, and Delegate Avzali for their support in that grant application. So hopefully we'll get it awarded. The Twin Arch basketball court is ready to go after tonight's meeting, and I want to say thank you to Heather Michael and Jill Willingham for their advocacy toward that basketball court, and also to the Parks Board for staying steadfast and trying to get approval for all this. As that develops, we'll try to do like a groundbreaking ceremony. So if any councilman or anybody wants to come out and be part of that, so we'll try to have something organized that way. Chili cook-off went great. 20+ cooks, 10 restaurants participated. And thank you to the Mamsa Lions Club, Jeff Bear, Conchetta's, Bob. Thanks. So, and I hope I didn't steal your thunder from EDC.
No, I just,
Okay.
go ahead.
Ava's had a nice turnout on May 19th. If anyone wants a picture of their dog, go out to Watkins Park between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. on June 16th. Diana Gray of Advantage Realty is going to be doing a photo op for dogs out near the entrance of Rails to Trails. Camp night is August 11th, and our next Parks and Rec Board meeting will be June 21st at Town Hall, 7 p.m. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Larry. EDC planning, Bob.
Our EDC meeting was on Wednesday, May the 23rd. Just a reminder, the farmer's market is held every Wednesday, 3 to 7, and continues until September the 26th, except 4th of July, they won't be open. It's bigger, it's better, check it out. We're working on scheduling a meeting with Sykesville, EDC Commissioner and Main Street Manager. looking at some unique programs to partner potential startup businesses with existing businesses in the downtown. We're developing a list of questions to ask some other communities that have obviously been more successful than us. Mount Airy Heat Chili Cook-Off was a huge hit. The committee will meet soon to begin planning for next year. Stay tuned. Are you ready for that, Carl?
Yes.
I just want to say Mark Magnolia and Carl were two late addies to the list, and I tell you what, they got us over the top. Everybody was dying here about 4 o'clock, and those guys were still out there humping chili. Monica's was sitting out front for about 6 hours, I think, working the booth, and so there was a lot of things that happened at the end that we really didn't expect that made it so successful and fun for us. We had an opportunity to enjoy it this year. MAMS was planning a membership drive in the downtown Mount Airy to sign up businesses in the organization that represents downtown businesses. A buy local campaign is getting up and running. The program will involve local business incentives along with deals for the public. So it'll be interesting to have that, and that's MAMSA, EDC, and Greater Mount Airy Chamber of Commerce all working together. The next EDC meeting is scheduled for June the 27th, 7 o'clock in Town Hall. The Planning Commission meeting on Monday, May 21st, 7 o'clock at Town Hall. Planning Commission rules of procedure are being discussed and tweaked. A downtown master plan public workshop is scheduled for Tuesday, June 19th, 6 o'clock to 8:30 at the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company's reception hall on the carnival grounds. The purpose of this workshop is to share information and create a vision for the future of the downtown. Share your thoughts about residential development, businesses, open space, and what it will look like. This workshop is for everybody that wants their comments heard and on the record. Do not miss this opportunity to share your ideas. Next Planning Commission meeting will be on Monday, June 25th, 7 o'clock at Town Hall. And that is my report.
Thank you. Sanitation, recycling, and now Sustainable Maryland. Jason?
Our last meeting happened during the MML hosting dinner, so I was unable to attend that. So our next meeting for Sustainable Mount Airy Commission will be June 20th, at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall. We just had the battery and paper shredding. We collected 859 pounds of batteries and 12,255 pounds of paper for the shredding event. It was a great turnout. Thank you to all those that came out. And that concludes my report.
You're talking batteries, talking like car batteries?
Batteries.
Any kind of
battery.
Okay.
Any kind of battery.
All right, that's a lot of weight in batteries.
There was a lot.
Yeah. All right. I don't have a report for streets and roads from Scott. Water and sewer actually met just before the last council meeting, and we're going to meet just after this council meeting on Wednesday at 7. So there've been no water and sewer meetings in the interim because we're always a day or two before or a day or two after the meeting, depending upon the schedule. Monica?
A couple things. Holly and I are getting ready to interview for Katie's position. The other job openings right now, we're kind of holding off until Pat feels a little bit better because he wants to be involved in that process. On Thursday, Barney and Dick and I are going to go up to Carroll County and talk to the environmental resources people up there and try to get our Phase 2 permit for the Frederick County side straightened out on what kind of administrative paperwork we need to file and get, discussing what kind of project we're going to do to meet those 5-year permit requirements. And just to bolster the downtown master plan event, that is a kid-friendly event. So we're going to have like a little kiddie corner or kids corner with activities so that people won't be discouraged to come if they, if they have their kids in tow. And I know the rain's been crazy and the grass has been growing like crazy, but please cut your grass, because if you don't cut your grass and it's 12 inches high, you're going to get a little letter from the town telling you to cut your grass. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Tom?
Over the last month, I've worked quite a bit on the Green Trees Special Exception hearing representing the Board of Appeals, and that continues for a little bit longer, but not much. Also worked on looked into the Pine Grove Chapel and Cemetery issue, and finalize the Twin Arch basketball soccer field easement that you all approved tonight.
Okay, thanks. All right, we've got a closed meeting on here, subject to a future police station. I will move that we go into, do we have the closed meeting checkoff sheet? I will move that we go into a closed meeting pursuant to 3-305, consider acquisition of real property for a public purpose and matters directly related thereto. I will move it. Do I have a second? Jason, Beth first.
He's younger.
Sorry.
Helt, aye. Hushhour?
Aye.
King?
Aye.
Poyer?
Aye.
Okay, and we will be adjourned when we're done with the closed meeting. And we'll give everybody a few minutes to, to get to where they need to be.
I hope Pat's not waiting for us on channel 18 here in the next couple of minutes, because we won't be here.